can 50 million power free-to-play player actually compete against 200 million spenders in 2026? Most players think that answer is really obvious, but after playing every season, I think you are half right. Today I will show you exactly where free-to-play players can still win and where it's basically impossible for free-to-play players to actually compete against spenders, right? Also, during the video we're gonna answer a lot of questions regarding free-to-play players against spenders, so it will be a fun video. So, first question. Why everyone thinks that free-to-play playing in Call of Dragons is actually dead? Well, there are multiple reasons why most of the players might think like that. That's of course new heroes which are coming out every 3 months, new artifacts which are coming out every 3 months, more events which are basically accessible for mainly spenders, such as Wondrous Workshop, and there is more and more events, especially for the decoration events, which are basically more accessible for spenders in Call of Dragons. Increasing account gap, right? Well, account gap increase, well, when you start the game, of course, spenders are going to unlock tier 5 troops way faster than free-to-play player. They can also get more troops if we are comparing to free-to-play players, of course, because they will have a lot of speed ups saved up. Also, they will have a lot of resources in the game because bundles which they are purchasing are giving them tons of resources, right? And of course, faster progression for spenders. Well, generally, if you are purchasing every single bundle, you are getting more and more legendary heroes, legendary tokens, medals, new artifacts. Everything becomes way faster for you, and you are getting to the higher numbers a lot quicker, of course, like 10 times quicker if we are comparing to free-to-play players, right? Also, the new things which are added to the game, such as, for example, decorations, currently for Call of Dragons, spenders will get 10s in decorations and level them up until the maximum, which is level 9. A lot faster than free-to-play players. Also, regarding the legendary city themes, well, before it was basically impossible for the free-to-play players to actually acquire legendary city skins, but after some updates regarding seals, in 1 year, if free-to-play player will play smart, you can actually acquire 1 legendary skin. But for spenders, they can actually acquire every single legendary skin which they like. Of course, depending how much you are spending, that can be changed, but in general, I have no idea. Spenders who are spending constantly in the game, they have a lot of legendary city skins, if not every, at least 3 or 4, which are the popular and maybe the favorite for them, right? So these are the reasons why people think that free-to-play playing Call of Dragons is basically dead, because they forget that this game is actually grind, right? Spenders can get a lot of stuff for free in terms of timing, basically 1 click, purchased and done. Free-to-play players should strategize, should have a targets, should have a goals, and slowly they are going to catch up. Nobody's saying that there will be in toe-to-toes regarding spenders in this game, but you will start catching up in some situations, in some features, like legendary heroes, right? For example, because after awakening legendary heroes, even spenders can't really power the heroes up even more, right? Because the limit is awakening. Of course, spenders will awaken heroes faster, but free-to-play players in a time-consuming game, they will awaken the heroes which they believe they are strong, right? And these are the some features of Call of Dragons which I think free-to-play players actually can catch up to spenders. But that was our first question, why everyone thinks free-to-play is dead. Now we're gonna discuss the second question, which is what free-to-play players can still do to start competing against spenders, right? And there is a couple of variants which I believe we should remember, and that of course is connected towards fighting in Call of Dragons. So, for free-to-play players who want to still compete, and they can compete, these are the situations where you should actually take a look at your gameplay. That's a good positioning because Call of Dragons is not a solo gameplay game. There is a lot of players around the battlefield, which means if you understand how to fight, how to have a good positioning, smart targeting, because some of the targets which players are taking are basically nonsense. If you understand which are your favorite targets in this game, of course merits will even get better, right? Mobility, right? That's why every single march which I use for archer gameplay, I put march speed talents, because without mobility, especially as a free-to-play, you will get caught a lot, right? It's not about how much damage you can deal. You can't really deal more damage than spenders, but you can have high mobility to avoid fighting those spenders. That's why you can see March speed. On my Ruby yet again, I'm going for March speed talents, March speed. At least 3 talents should be maxed out for the March speed gameplay, because mobility is actually crucial way for free-to-play players to have fun and enjoy Call of Dragons, right? And yet again, on Kinara, we got March speed, and March speed. Basically, I don't run a single March which don't have high March speed in Call of Dragons. That's one of the most mandatory things which I believe people should understand. Until you will realize how fights are happening in Call of Dragons, better have high March speed, because there will be a lot of spenders with level 5 artifacts which will start flying, and it will be impossible for you to at least enjoy the game, right? Also, team fights, right? And what I mean regarding team fights are the way how free-to-play players can still compete, because Call of Dragons, as I have mentioned, is not really 1 versus 1 game, right? You can see how many players are waiting for statue to open, which means every single city can pull out 5 march. Whenever fight starts, there are so many legions around the battlefield that it's impossible to understand which one is spender and which one is free to play. That's the idea of whole game. So don't fight alone. Hit isolated marches from your opponents. Retreat early when you understand that your alliance is getting destroyed. It's better to pull back to save your troops than go and sacrifice your march for no reason. And of course, trade efficiently, right? Don't go on 1 versus 1 duels. It's a team game, it's a team fight game. Wait for your alliance, wait for your markers, and start fighting together. That's especially important for players who are playing ranged, which are archers and mages in this game. So, be attentive. It's not 1 versus 1 game. If it was 1 versus 1 game, I would say it's impossible to have fun in Call of Dragons as a free-to-play player. So, that's like key sectors where I believe free-to-play players can compete and they can actually have fun and get a lot of merits in this game. But of course, since we mentioned regarding free-to-play strengths and how you can compete, we should ask question where free-to-play players cannot compete, right? And that's really easy because there are a couple of features of Call of Dragons which you can basically cannot compete if you are a free-to-play player. One of them are solo rallies, right? Rallying your opponents inside the cities as a free-to-play player, never do that. Because we have decorations, we have Warped 3-star, we have Awakened Heroes, level 5 artifacts. We also have Exemplar Wish, which is really hard for a free-to-play player to actually acquire. So, if you are running rallies towards your opponent's bastions or cities, you are just wasting your account. Unfortunately, that's the reality, right? So never do rallies as a captain, as a free-to-play player. Also, even the garrison, right? The garrison captaining in Roots of War, garrison captaining inside the Alliance Siege Bastion, that's not good for you, because that's basically 1 versus 1 fight whenever you are garrisoning or rallying the opponents, and as a free-to-play player, that will be basically impossible for you to have a competitive and even good trades. So no rallies, no garrison. Also, running around alone, right? Running around alone, like for example, in this statue, I could run around with my 2 or 1 march, and I would make a mistake, right? Because one spender will jump out of here, even 1 infantry march. They will always catch me because melee units are having higher march speed, and I will be just wasting my troops, right? So never do 1 versus 1 duels against spenders. It's basically useless. And also, there is some events for the spenders, such as Wondrous Workshop and things like this, which is requiring you to purchase more and more tries. These are spender events. As a free-to-play player, don't overcomplicate your gameplay. Don't try to compete in a spender event as a free-to-play player. And also, maxing artifacts, right? If you are going to try your best to max every single artifact as a free-to-play player, unfortunately it will be impossible for you to do anything. So, spenders are having maxed out artifacts, every single one of them, whichever they want, free-to-play can't. So don't even start competing, because you cannot win in artifact trade. That's basically really hard. So you already know, even the economy stuff like events, like resources, never go and never resource heal all the time, because no matter what, no matter how many farm accounts you have, how many times you have gathered, spenders will always have more resources than you. Unfortunately, that's the reality. We can't really compete in terms of resources. We can't really compete against, in general, currencies. We can only compete in real fights, in PvP gameplay. That's the reality which we are having in Call of Dragons. And yeah, that's the question which we had, where free-to-play players cannot compete. But of course, if we cannot compete, we know that a lot of free-to-play players are making a lot of mistakes. Biggest mistakes which free-to-play players make are couple, right? Trying to build every single troop type in the game. That's the biggest mistake which free-to-play player can do. My advice, choose 1 troop type, marksman, cavalry, infantry, mages, and build around 1 troop type. It's the reality. Unfortunately, if you will even try to max out 2 like archers or mages, no chance you won't gonna have enough currencies in this game to max out everything, whatever you wish. So try to main 1 troop type. Wasting universal tokens. As a free-to-play player, you can see I have only good marksmen, most of them are awakened. Cavalry, no levels. Infantry, no levels. Magic, no levels. Overall, no levels. Basically, universal legendary hero tokens are one of the most rare rewards in this game, so that's the reason why you should main only 1 troop type. Fighting bad traits. If you see that your opponents are having most of the cavalry around the battlefield, if you are archer or mage, you don't fight. You are choosing the fights which will be good for you, depending what's your main troop type. Ignoring the research, right? And free-to-play players can't do that, because some of the researchers are so time-consuming that they tend to skip. Never skip defensive formation 1, first aid 1, never skip defensive formation 2 and first aid 2. You can't really skip them, but you can make them level 8 and that's it, but trust me, maxing them out is really important. You have to max these 4 researchers as fast as possible. And of course, we have to mention the alliance, right? Free-to-play players make same mistakes regarding alliance. Imagine that alliance is like your family. Without your alliance members, you can't really do anything in this game, especially as a free-to-play player. Not in terms of rewards, not in terms of behemoths, in general. You can't really play Call of Dragons as a free-to-play player if you have a horrible alliance. So, until you will choose the alliance you want to go for, think twice, think 10 times. What kind of players they are they active or not? Because if you are in a non-active alliance, you will just get bored no matter free-to-play or spender. So, free-to-play players, you have to choose your alliance wisely. Without that, it will be impossible to compete. That's the reality. It's a community game, it's a mass PvP game, and especially as a free-to-play player with bad alliance, you won't gonna have fun in this game. Since we mentioned the mistakes which free-to-play players are making, of course I will do opposite. What free-to-play players should focus on, right? So, focus on one troop type. For example, I focused on archers and I have everything for archers. You have to have at least one strong march. Start with one strong march. Either it's Magrat or Zaida, Ruby or Kylan. For mages, maybe Yungming and Gromara. For cavalry, it might be Urag and Neya. For infantry, it can be Kuma and Leikuan. Even Goresh or Skolru. Start looking at maxing at least one march. That should be the minimum. Technology. You have to get to tier 5. Everything which is happening before tier 5 doesn't matter. Everything what's gonna happen after tier 5 will matter. I have been tier 4 for almost 2 years. I have been tier 4 more times than tier 5. And trust me, whenever you are unlocking tier 5, you are getting totally different gameplay. So, focus on getting tier 5 as fast as possible. The alliance, I already mentioned. Have a good alliance, have active alliance, which are taking behemoths, which are fighting every statue, which are fighting because without clearing the marriage story in this game, you are not getting a lot of important items which will help you to progress. That's also really crucial. Find a good alliance. Events. Try to understand which events are free-to-play friendly, such as Escort Clash, for example. Strongest Lord, you can only get the basic rewards, which are good enough. Lucky Spins event, get 10 spins, get some additional rewards, good thing. There is also like Crucible of Heroes, which is going to give you a lot of legendary hero tokens, which are always good to max out. So, understand which are the events for free-to-play friendly players and try to get every single reward which are there. Activity. You have to be active. There is no road around it, right? The biggest difference behind spenders and free-to-play players should be activity. You should be twice as active as spenders in this game. Without that, nothing actually matters. No matter if you are tier 5, if you have every single legendary hero awakened, or max level artifacts. If you are not active, yeah, who cares, right? That's where free-to-play players can actually catch up, being super active. Also, Warpets. Warpets is the feature which, no matter if free-to-play or spender, everybody should farm talent skills. So, choose the right Warpet for you. Main talent skill, you have to make it 3-star. Both of you, spenders and free-to-play players, are struggling to make main talent skill 3-star because you can't really buy 3-star talent skill as a spender. You can't really purchase it. You have to farm the Warpets for a long time and you are going to get 3-star talent. And trust me, 3-star talent skill Warpets are like third heroes. So, in total, what free-to-play players should focus on: maining one troop type, having good alliance, being super active, Warpets, events, free-to-play friendly events, and the activity, which is so crucial in this game. And now, we are going towards the most important question, which is regarding this video. Can free-to-play players beat whales? Easy answer, no.
But where free-to-play players can win teamwork with your alliance members, helping them out. For example, if you are infantry, help your ranged troops. If you are ranged troop, help your infantry. It's a team game. Positioning, activity, and smart decision. That's where free-to-play players can compete against spenders. Without these couple of topics, if you are not following these topics, it's impossible for a free-to-play players to beat spenders. But easy answer is always no, but with the help of your ally members, with the help of your friends, of course, you can compete, you can have high merits, and at the end of the day, what's the most important? To enjoy Call of Dragons, to have fun, and trust me, you are going to have more fun with your ally members, with your friends, because this game is a community game, it's a mass PvP game. Lot of players are playing this game at the same time, just like you. So try to have more friends in the game, because every activity with friends are way more fun than in solo games. This is the idea I'm having regarding free-to-play players competing against spenders. Of course, I'm waiting for your comments because I'm really interested what you think. As always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.